This year, one of the best anime came in the form of character drama Gatsu no Line. It's the story of Kiriyama Rei, a young, troubled professional shogi player, and his journey and growth. Surrounding Rei is a large array of colorful characters. Each character plays a role in Rei's development, for better or worse, but also stands out on their own as a fleshed out, well-rounded person. As this season makes clear, Gatsu is as much about the people around Rei as it is about him. This is very evident in the shogi matches and the shogi world Rei inhabits in general. The show introduces us to the countless opponents Rei faces through his point of view. We receive the biases he comes with, as well as his convictions and emotions, and we root for him to dismantle his opponents. The opponent is treated as an obstacle, or at certain moments an irredeemable person. They are a wall that Rei must conquer and climb over with the shogi play. Whether Rei wins or loses, we leave the match in Rei's footsteps. Gatsu could just stop here and keep going forward with the spotlight solely on Rei, but it doesn't. It chooses to double back and give us background or insight on the people Rei faces and interacts with, humanizing them. For a good example of this, we can turn to Season 2's newcomer tourney. Yamazaki, the reigning newcomer king, wins his semifinal match against Nikaido due to the latter's sickness. When Rei plays against him in the finals, he paints a picture of Yamazaki that is so vivid, real, and mysterious. However, in the first part of episode 32, the show combats this image and flips our perception of him on our heads. We get to see his point of view, his struggles, his insecurities and frustrations. Gatsu lays bare Yamazaki's perceptions of Nikaido and Rei and their boundless drive, plastered against his own loss and growing weariness in life. The viewer starts out not caring about Yamazaki or even hating him. However, through laying out his realistic interactions, hobbies, and ideologies, the show makes us at least sympathize or empathize with him. This isn't the only example of Gatsu's process of complicating a veiled or villainous character. As a matter of fact, Rei's sister, Kyoko, is the embodiment of this exact point. Kyoko is someone who is hard to pin down at the start of the show. When we are first introduced to her in episode 5 via Rei's flashback, she comes off as a strong-willed girl whose father was rough on her. She, along with her brother, suffered from inadequacy in shogi skill compared to the adopted Rei, and feelings of favoritism stemming from that. This manifested in abusive tendencies towards Rei, both physically and mentally. This abuse continues when we first meet her all grown up in episode 8, psychologically beating down Rei and villainizing him before his match against the elderly Matsunaga. To us, she seems cruel and unfair to the unfortunate, suffering Rei, despite the upbringing. She's also in a relationship with an older married shogi player, Goto, who Rei has a fight with prior to the start of the series. This could be seen as a result of her upbringing as well. Even then, she shows a deep love for Goto and still shows some kind of concern for Rei despite her actions. She also displays sorrow and frustration when it comes to her father and the treatment she got growing up. With the knowledge the show provides us, we get the compound image of Kyoko as both the oppressor and manipulator, as well as a fragile, lost person in a sunken place. Even if you still dislike her, the path between her upbringing and her current behavior is clear and convincing, and this draws sympathy towards her and fleshes out her actions. Nikaido and the Kawamoto family are fleshed out as well, and play a big role in building up Rei, albeit painted in a more positive light compared to the previous two examples. Nikaido is a character I've never been able to fully latch onto, but his importance as a standalone character, as well as Rei's friendly rival, cannot be understated. He starts off pretty bad, as a pushy, overbearing guy, stuck in his own delusions, but over the duration of the 2 seasons, this perception changes. We learn about his sickness and his overall health complications, and watch him fight the illness and work hard to get on Rei's level of shogi. He shows his softer side, teaching the Kawamotos about shogi where Rei lacked the ability to do so, and shows a lot of care and concern for Shimada. Most of all, we get to witness his fiery passion and sheer determination demonstrated in his newcomers match. We wish the best for him, cheer for his successes, and are heartbroken when he falters. His development is one of the most significant in the show, and the more we sit with him, the more Rei accepts him as a dear friend. His companionship with Kiriyama is substantial as well, with his advice helping Rei's mental state in matches like the newcomer final, and his motivation being a constant rock in the series. Without Nikaido and the banter that occurs between him and Rei, Gatsu will be much less fulfilling. The Kawamoto family is another one of the key components as to why Fugatsu works so well, since they provide a separation from the hardcore shogi environment, as well as providing Rei with a surrogate family and emotional support. They emit this warmth, and their quaint home provides a contrast and solace from Rei's dark, moody, dreary mental state. At first glance, the Kawamoto's homely atmosphere is the most prevalent. However, as the story progresses, the cracks show, and we get to see the family's all too relatable pains and suffering, drawing us closer to them than before. From Akari's heart-to-heart with Rei on New Year's Eve, to Hina's complex emotions and strength as a result of bullying, the Kawamotos become more than just Rei's refuge. 3 Gatsu develops them to a stronger unit that has its own problems and hurdles, but is still able to be there for Rei exactly when he needs an outstretched hand. However, in the end of the day, everything comes back to Rei. Rei is the heart of 3 Gatsu, and the strongest development stems from him. From moment 1, 3 Gatsu starts crafting Rei's character. They start off with Kyoko talking down Rei, followed by showing him in his dark, unfurnished room. This powerful sequence implicitly shows his inner suffering and anguish that the rest of the series lays out, and it's a good precursor to the rollercoaster of emotions that we're about to ride. We learn about him through his constant flashbacks with the death of his family, his experience with his adopted family, and his school isolation. We watch him get racked with grief, frustration, and anger, as well as happiness over the span of the show. We watch him win and struggle with losses and slumps. His interactions with people, on and off of the board, help us as a viewer understand Kiriyama as a person. Whether it be with the Shogi Science Club or with Shimada's group, these interactions help out Kiriyama socially and bring out his quirks. Along with that, he is constantly able to turn to the Kawamoto family, as mentioned before, and get the healthy environment he lacked in his life. He slowly accepts his place in the family as well. As much as they help Rei out emotionally, Rei does the same for them, which the recent season makes clear. His drive to help Hina out in a rough school situation, both emotionally and financially, is crucial in building her up and keeping her smile going. Put all this together, and the Rei we met in episode 1 is not the Rei that comes out of episode 32. We witnessed the evolution of Rei's play, as well as the improvements to his mental state and social life, and this creates a very interesting character. On every level, 3 Gatsu delivers in his characterization. This kind of show relies on having believable, fleshed out characters, and 3 Gatsu has it in spades. From Kyoko to Shimada, Nikaido, and the Kawamotos, and countless others, there is a strong variety of people that have a hand in the show's events. Removing even one of them affects the story in different ways. Overall, 3 Gatsu's ability to build up Rei and the people surrounding him, and take them through its emotional journey, accompanied by the show's superb animation, is its biggest strength. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. If you want more videos like this, check out my video on Hero Academia and names, as well as my video on Tsukigakure's themes. See you guys again soon. Peace.